I mean, I think Sharia has become a shortcut for everything that's wrong with the Muslim world in the West. You know, you say the word Sharia and people, you know, the hairs on their spine go up. But I think, you know, going back to Rowan Williams, this is the extent to which people are afraid of the world. And the media is to blame for this. I mean, I work in the media, but on this occasion I will blame them. That they hadn't even heard what he'd said. They hadn't read what he'd said. And he wasn't saying that we should have a parallel legal system and that Sharia law is great. He was saying that where you have people in some areas with particular religious demands, how do you create a society for the good of all, where those, where certain aspects of their faith can be accommodated? Now, if you think about it, they already are. I mean, Sharia law to most people means you can't show your face, you know, stoning of adultery, and that's it. But the whole of the fiqh tradition is an attempt to try and understand what is God's law without ever actually saying this is God's law. But, you know, Muslims marry according to Sharia law. They can divorce according to Sharia law. If they're not drinking alcohol, that's Sharia law. If they have dietary requirements, that's Sharia law. None of that is an imposition on the legal system. But because people don't want to debate what is actually meant by Sharia law, Muslims and non-Muslims, let me add, that creates that problem. I didn't know that there was an anti-Sharia law, which is really interesting.
Kansas passed it, I think, last year. Louisiana, Tennessee, 3 states.
So what is it that they can't do that they would have done before the law?
Nothing in court.
Well,
right.
You can't. The model legislation upon which it's based says that you. It's called American law for American courts. You may not utilize foreign law, which would include Sharia, to the extent that it would violate constitutional rights and privileges. So
Okay, so a recent example of that in the UK was an Egyptian man who married a Scottish woman. They had 2 children, and she had said to him, they had agreed that the children were brought up as Muslims. She had converted to Islam. But then they divorced, and she wanted custody, children quite young, she wanted custody of the children. And the man said, according to Islamic law, and also by our premarital agreement, she said that the kids would be brought up Muslim, and also that I would have custody according to Islamic law, because I'm I think he was Egyptian, but anyway, that he would have custody. But Scots law ruled against it, said that the woman does not have to bring them up as Muslims. That's according to your law or your thoughts. She can bring them whatever religion she wants, and also the kids will stay with her until the age of, and you will have to provide maintenance. And, you know, the papers went, well, you know, what does that mean? But the Scots law was right. You can't have, you know, somebody saying that I have a separate religious system and that has to be. No, my comment on that only was for the sake of the children, the 2 should come to some kind of good compromise. But as a legal discussion, you know, the conclusion was right, I think. Because otherwise people can start making all kinds of demands in the name of religious law. Then where would you end that? Because religion itself is disputed, religious law is disputed, the way people practice a religion is disputed. How on earth are the courts going to make sense of individual demands?